Welcome to the Chop Team. I'm your host, Seth the Dart Child.
I'm your host, twinsinc.
Our show is about two guys and any friends that happen to come over with a topic that we want to chop up.
This is our barbershop style podcast. We discuss it all. If the fellas at the shop will go in on it, we will. Let's chop it up.
Welcome back, people. We're back today with a wonderful, great show for you to listen to today. And this topic was brought up today because, we at work. A friend asked us what was the symbol we were wearing. And the symbol we was wearing was the Ankh. And it took us by surprise because we're like, you don't know what this is? And, of course, everybody know what the cross is, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't know what the Ankh is. So we're going to have this little, I don't know how far this may go, but we're going to have a little conversation about the Ankh. Seth, start off real quick. Let them know what it is.
All right, yeah. I just want to say this straight up front that we are not African history specialists or Egyptian history specialists, any of this. This is information we've discussed amongst ourselves that's easily available on the internet. So if you got an argument, research it for yourself. But moving on. So, like I say, the question came up was, what is this Ankh? What are you wearing? And, we gave a quick overview. I gave a quick overview to one guy. I was like, yo, it's a cross that hasn't been butchered by the Christian religion, because that's what it is, in my opinion. So, I found a little insert on the internet based on the difference between the Ankh and the cross, just to start the conversation in the right place. Okay, the Ankh. Originally, this is the definition of it on this site I found. Originally based on the feminine principles of nature, spirituality, and peace, right? And a cross. Originally based on the masculine principles of theocracy, politics, and war. That's where you're at. So you either believe in peace and good and doing right and spirituality, or politics and war. And if you really look at it, that's where you're at. Christians cause a whole lot of problems all around the damn world. Think about that for one moment. And they put this symbol up everywhere they go.
That's deep. That's deep. I mean, so do you want war or do you want peace?
So
I like the peace.
I like spirituality. I honestly, I enjoy the fact that there's more to this world than what you can see with your eyes.
Facts.
But you're not. A lot of people listen. I'm gonna go way left on this one, but the Christian right. This is based on the world we in today. The Christian right supports Donald Trump. 83% of white evangelicals support Donald Trump. I personally, this is real talk, whether you're Democrat or Republican, there's a certain something you're supposed to do that we were all taught right from wrong, right?
Right.
So I don't know if Donald Trump's trade practices are right. I don't know if his foreign policy is right, because everyone is going to do that differently, right? But what I do know is, as a child, I was taught right from wrong. So you don't have to tell me cheating on my wife with a porn star would be wrong while she's giving birth to my son. You know, you don't have to tell me right from wrong. That sounds wrong to me.
Conscience will tell you that.
It's supposed to, right?
Right.
So if you've been taught right from wrong, no one tells you right from wrong. You know this, right? So I'm bringing that back to the Christian right. Once again, after 3 years as president of this country, the Christian right still supports Donald Trump. They still support him as a good moral leader or whatever, honestly. So with that being said, that's all this back to the Ankh and the cross. This is what people, this is a symbol that the people who are supporting him in what I and most of the people I would put myself around would consider wrong. Once again, I would never put a cross on my body anymore. I'm done with that, because it doesn't take a genius to see right from wrong. And why would you wear a symbol that is supporting what you think is wrong? That's my opinion. That's my position. So this whole conversation boils down to the Ankh and what it means. It also boils down to think about the other side of that statement. The people who bastardized the Ankh, they literally, in a few moments, we'll talk about what they did to the Ankh, what the Ankh actually kind of symbolizes, and then you'll see how they butchered it to make it what it is.
And also, when you think about it, and of course we do know the Ankh means a symbol of life. And like Seth just said, we're going to dive into that too to give you more understanding what it means, because that's exactly what it is. It's the symbol of life, which is positive, no negative, no war. It's a positive thing. So we won't dive into it more, people, but it doesn't, like you said before, it doesn't take a genius to understand what's right and what's wrong. And of course, both of us, we were growing up, and we was growing up as Christians. So we're not acting like we knew our African history from day one. We didn't. We were brainwashed just like everyone else. But at the age, let's see, I'm 37. So I'll say at the age of 36. So last year, whatever you want to call it, woke my eye open, whatever. I started doing more research because no one could ever tell me why when I ask certain questions, especially when I ask questions about how come there's never no black people in the Bible. And people say, oh, there is. They say, Jesus' hair was wool. Yeah, they say all that, but you have to really dive in and figure it out. But with all these other people in the Bible that you know about that were white, right? Mm-hmm. Noah, you don't have to ask what color Noah is, what color Adam and Eve is. So if Adam and Eve were the first two people and were white, where do black people come from? But that's the point I'm trying to make. These are young questions I asked at a young age, but I was always told to shut up or, read it, and you'll pray and ask for understanding. Well, guess what? I prayed and 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 prayed, and I still never got understanding. It just didn't make sense and never clicked. And, like I said, I've always been a Christian my whole life. Mm-hmm. But once you use your own brain, start thinking, and you start doing a little research. And yes, I use Google research, but I also use other places. So when it comes to doing a little research, people, I'll say this to you. When you research something, check in multiple places. If multiple places have the same answer or something very close to what it's saying, there has to be truth in it. Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't accept the truth, I say this all the time, ignorance is not an excuse.
Nope.
Simple as that. But I want to stay on topic. So, Seth, you got some more information for the people?
Yeah. Well, once again, everything I'm saying is readily available on the internet. So I just looked up a description of the Ankh.
Okay.
One of the first choices came up. I'm looking at an Ankh, and it's a picture of an Ankh side by side with a female uterus. Right. The top part of the Ankh is circular and as an oval in the middle. That's considered the womb of life. That's on the top of the Ankh, right? The first symbol is the womb. Once again, shout out to my sisters. We have always worshipped women because women are, while we are just as important as women. I want to state this from a non-feminist standpoint. We provide the seed of life, period. Men, we provide our sperm is the seed of life, but putting a seed is just a seed until you put it in fertile ground and it grows into something that you can love. So all this, we goddesses and women, you are not the source of life. You're not the fountain of life. That's us. But you are so important. You are, once again, there's no denying it. The Ankh itself is over 6,000 years old, and that symbol is of your uterus. That's how important you are to us. So just letting you know before you start thinking that we hate women or we mad at women. No, Christianity hates you, but that's my opinion. So, but the first top of the Ankh it's like an oval on top of the letter T. So the top of the oval indicates or symbolizes a uterus. The sides of the cross are considered the sunrise and sunset, which actually resemble fallopian tubes. You understand? You feel? So the first top of it, the uterus, the arms, the top arms are symbols of fallopian tubes. Okay? Now, the bottom part, the line going straight down, that's considered the vaginal canal. Once again, that Egyptians called it the portal of life. It's a vaginal canal. So the most holy symbol for thousands of years to us as Africans from the kingdom of Kemet, which became Egypt for future reference, was a woman's ability to bear life into this world. Just saying. Quit the cross. A cross is the cross basically is everything with the uterus removed. How is that supposed to be life-giving? But once again, readily available on the internet. This is just my opinion. I'm just talking about it. You can look all this up.
That was good and very detailed. Information's there on the World Wide Web, people. Look it up. Learn your African history.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, we should definitely get into African history.
Honestly, but once you start researching about what the Ankh is, it's going to take you down the rabbit hole. Or I wouldn't even call it rabbit hole. It's going to take you down to African history. Simple as that. And so that's not a rabbit hole. That's actual fact.
Yep.
You're going to learn more about your history, especially for my black people, because we're in America. So you have to understand we're taught their rules, their religion, because this is their land, right? Yes, we might have built it up from our hands, but once again, you go back to your homeland, learn about your race, learn about your African history, and you start learning that Christianity wasn't something that was praising and reading about in Africa.
Nope.
You have to understand this. Like, some things here just don't make sense. And the reason why I start having these conversations, start thinking about it, because every day, right now as we speak, I'm seeing my brothers and sisters and kids and wives getting killed by the police, kidnapped, snatched, all that. Our people. Mm-hmm. Now, some white people are being snatched too, so, it goes both ways, but majority of the time, it's our people that's being neglected in the world. And if all these Christianity is supposed to be one of the biggest religions in the whole world, or at least in the United States. So if we are Christianities in this world, no one is batting the eye to the black people being treated unjustly. Simple as that. So my mind blows, like, so where are these Christians, where all these black people are being XYZ? I mean, because I grew up in a black church. I don't see the churches on the front line, not saying you have to protest. I just don't see you guys doing anything. We pour millions of dollars into these churches on every corner of the block for over these years. And I don't see the God that we praise all day, all night, every day. I have grandmothers, I have aunties, I have family members. I've seen people my whole life praise and worship to this Jesus. And I see bad things happen to us all the time. All the time. Mm-hmm. So this is the mindset of twinsinc. And this is why that I kind of start reading and doing a little research and learning about my African heritage. And you learn things. And because you learn African heritage, learn about your African heritage doesn't mean you're a bad person or you're trying to be different. I mean, you're going to be different once you start learning more about it. But what I'm saying is that it's nothing wrong with learning about who you are. Everyone should want to know who they are, where they came from. That's the whole purpose.
Okay. All right. You know what? Just to finish symbolizing the Ankh, because I honestly, we're about to go down the rabbit hole.
It's getting close, huh?
No reason not to. But seriously, this Ankh, I want to come back and address this, because I found something a while ago that it pretty much. I even found a story that if you start wearing the Ankh symbol on your body, because of what it is and how it's made and what it symbolizes, it's actually good for you from a health perspective. Something about the symbol itself will resonate within you as a person. Maybe you as just a black person, but specifically, do your homework, do your research. If you can spend an hour, just 1 hour as a black person, researching about the Ankh, go to all the links, do some research, you're going to run into African history. If after an hour you still feel comfortable wearing the Christian cross and you're good, God, you know what? Your God bless you. I give you that. I'm not here to argue with you about that. But if you can spend just 1 hour researching your history and you still choose to follow that, good luck with that. You know what? I don't wish you any bad. But
I mean, that's crazy because when you think about that, when you think about the Bible and stuff, yeah, it's a book that's been prepared and given to you, right? But no one really does the history on it. They do the history by reading the book and going through the pages, but no one actually read the history. Like, how did the book come together? You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so we're done with the Ankh. Rabbit hole time. Listen, all right. I want to say something that's real huge on that, what you just said. You realize when you got the book, this was slavery, they wouldn't let you read anything else but the Bible. That's the only thing a black person could read. If they caught you reading a newspaper, they could kill you. If they caught you reading a book or a leaflet, they could kill you. But read the Bible, they were happy to let you read the Bible.
Actually, if you knew how to read, period, either you was dead or you were the one they took away your other books you had and made you read the Bible to everyone else because they couldn't read.
And when you ask, what does this mean and what does it mean? They gave you their interpretation of what these passages meant. Listen, this is 2019 rolling into 2020. Anybody who is ignorant enough to profess a belief in Christianity that has not done research into other religions, you are the problem.
You know what? That's it. Right. People don't spend the time doing the research. They don't. They only go with what people tell them. Mm-hmm. We call them sheep because where somebody tell you, you just take it in, and that's what it is. Well, it says right here.
See,
or they'll be like, "Well, I grew up that way." Yeah, we all grew up that way. It's called breaking the chain. You have to break the chain somewhere.
I went to church. I did Easter speeches. You know what I'm saying? I did it
all.
I'm 6 years old reciting passages out the Bible on Easter at church, and to this day, I'm like, I disagree with everything I was brought up to say. Not saying, once again, this is not about intelligence. If you profess a belief in the Bible, if you haven't even given a moment to study Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, if you haven't even taken a moment to study other religions, and you willing to argue with me in the street about Christianity when you ain't did no comparative research, you are the problem. That's a control mechanism. Okay, I'm be honest with you. We were in here joking in the studio joking about the devil, right? Like everyone believes the devil is the bad guy, and I told you we were going down the rabbit hole. And just as an argument, for real, if you know it, put it in the comments. But what the hell did the devil do bad? Now, he talked. He didn't make. He talked Eve into biting that apple, right?
If there was an Eve, but go ahead.
Yeah, if there was an Eve. He talked to her. He didn't put a gun to her head. He didn't force her. He didn't coerce her. He talked to her. She chose. But when he had a conversation with Jesus, once again, he had a conversation, said, if you bow down to me, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world. What kingdoms did he have to give? He was just talking for as you can't prove to me right now in the Bible nothing the devil did wrong. Seriously, this isn't an argument. This is pure reading. Who destroyed the firstborn of Egypt? That was God. Who let the Israelites be enslaved for 400 years in Egypt? That wasn't the devil. Just saying. who wasn't that Daniel ended up in the lion's pit? Did the devil make him go into the lion's pit? I'm pretty sure that was God. Who told? I mean, we could keep doing this. Who let their own son get? Who honestly, I ain't even gonna talk about. I wasn't even gonna go here, but this is the description. Who slept with the woman without her permission, got her pregnant, and made another man raise that child just so they could kill that child on the cross?
Drop the mic.
It wasn't the devil. So the reason I brought that up isn't to say the devil is good. I'm not trying to have the argument with you. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to say, look at what you're reading, listen to what you're reading, think about it. You know what I'm saying? And if you still feel the same way,
more power to you.
God bless you once again, because I'm not here to change your mind. But all this information, all the information currently available to humans is available on the internet, and everyone I know has a smartphone with a data plan.
Right, and then people will say, "Oh, you can't believe everything internet." You're right. I agree. Guess what? There's still libraries out there, and guess what? They have the same information.
Wait, can I see a Bible on the internet?
Yeah, you sure can.
You say I can't believe everything on the internet, though. Isn't a copy of the Bible on the internet for free? I can just pull that joker up right now.
Okay.
But I can also do that to the Torah and the Quran. You can do your research. This isn't an argument. So this another full disclaimer again. I totally believe that there's more to this world than what we see and what we know.
Facts. It is.
I don't worship the Christian God. I don't. I will never bend the knee. I will never go to another church. I will never throw into the collection plate. I will say that as a tool, and I'm going to talk about the churches in a minute. Mm-hmm. As a tool, the church does not, but could be a valuable service to the community. But once again, we've been out of slavery for 150 years. They gave you the Bible after they took you from your homeland. They put you in a place in servitude, and they did unspeakable things to a lot of us, a lot of our ancestors. And 150 years after they let us go, we didn't even fight for our freedom. They let us go. Y'all still want to argue with me about what's right and wrong for you spiritually. Ask yourself some good questions. Quit just following, quit taking that junk every day, man. These churches is garbage, and I'll tell you why. Right after I give twinsinc a moment to tell me what's on his mind. I'm sorry. I be getting to the. I'm passionate about this subject because it's so frustrating now that I know better.
Well, I mean, I can feel the frustration, and the frustrating because when I say we, African Americans, we will never have unity because we cannot come together
for a reason.
We just can't. Like if they promise us everybody get $1 million each, right? Only thing you gotta do is come together as unity. It will never happen.
Nope.
Because just on this one topic alone, we have one people on the side of the fence that's all for the Bible, and they're gonna praise it 100%. And I understand it. I get it. And then you get the people on the other side. I'm like, nah, baby, the Bible's fake. You can't. No, I will not. I will not follow that. I'm Ankh. I'm African history. I'm learning X, Y, Z. And at the end of the day, I believe there is a God. I do believe there is a God. But as far as which one or who, it's hard to say. The history, if you do the research, there's too many of them. So we'll never have unity. We'll just have, and it hurts my soul because if we had unity, we could be so powerful. And not to the point that we're trying to fight and take over. Like the thing is, me has customs week. We as African Americans, we're not even trying to take over the America. We're not trying to make white people slaves.
We just want you to leave us alone.
We just want peace.
Leave us alone. Quit kicking me.
Right. We just want peace and we want to be treated fair. That's it. They're worried about we're going to take over and do to them what they did to us.
And that's a guilty soul right there. That's a guilty soul. You treat people the way you want to be treated.
Right.
You don't treat people the way you think they're going to treat you because of the way you treated them.
Facts.
You might have to rewind that part, but you don't treat me bad because you're afraid I'm gonna treat you the way you treated me, so you're gonna keep treating me bad. That's you're setting yourself up for failure.
And that's where it's at, people.
So just once again, I'll just say this, and this is on the internet. You can look this up, whether you believe it or not. Christianity is, give or take, 2,000 years old, maybe. Egyptian mythology, if you want to call it that. What I believe in, where I got this ankh on my neck from, 6,000, 7,000 years old. There's another religion that was worshipped in West Africa 14,000 years ago. I found that, called voodoo or voodoo, however you want to pronounce it. We're not going into that. I'm just saying. So if you think about it, the older religions, why would you worship this baby religion when you can worship a religion of your people that's thousands of years older than this garbage we call ourselves listening to now? That's all. That's, once again, this is a rabbit hole, but once again, all of this, the moment you start looking up Ankh, you're going to run into all of this. This is like a gateway drug to black spiritualism.
Yeah, because the more you research, the more you want to learn more about, and then you don't start thinking, wow, now I understand why they didn't teach us this information going to school.
Exactly. It's a rabbit hole. If you give me a crumb, I'm gonna be like, what the rest of the loaf?
Listen, think about this. There wouldn't be enough time in a year to teach kids about African history.
Nah.
You can't, because it's layers on top of layers on top of layers on top of layers.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look up European history, it's not that deep.
And the worst part about it, be real with yourself. If you start teaching African history, you're going to find out another major thing, that everything you've been taught already is a lie. If you start looking at African history, it will by default prove to you that everything you know or been told is incorrect.
And the more of the history or more research that you do, you don't see the darker it gets. And when I say dark, I don't mean like bad dark, like scary dark.
No.
We talking about black history, brown,
melanated
history. I mean, if you look at the Egyptians and all that, because once again, this is still part of the Ankh. When you start about the Ankh, you start learning about who the people who used to walk around carry the Ankh and why they carry the Ankh.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at all the statues and pyramids we have, none of y'all have really sat there and thought about why are the nose of all of our statues broken?
Even the Sphinx, they destroyed the nose.
The nose. Think about that. Like why? Like right? Why? Why? You could have damaged the whole thing, right? You could have took an eye out. You could have broke an ear.
No,
you break the nose,
dude.
Why?
The question isn't just why. It's also how much. We ain't talking about one or two or 1,000. We talking about almost every damn antiquity from ancient Egypt and historical that has been defaced. That's a systematic, and this didn't happen 2,000 years ago, 400 years ago, 200 years ago, 60. It's continual. They're doing that shit today. They find ancient artifacts and break the damn noses off of them today. All right? This ain't a joke. And you think somebody would do that just because they were making mistakes? You think artisans don't know how to, chisel a nose on a statue so that's always the weakest part of a statue? Seriously?
Right.
It's not an accident. So once again, this is the rabbit hole. We're a little bit done with them, but once again, once you start looking at our history, it just keeps getting that further back you go in history, it just keeps getting blacker and blacker. When you say this, there was a tribe in South America called the Olmecs, Olmecs, Olmecs. Now, theoretically, they found some Olmec artifacts that happened to be Afrocentric. But that was up to 20,000 years ago, which is before the last ice age, in case y'all were curious as to world history. So African were in the Americas prior to known history. Once again, and that means they were here before the Ice Age, so they didn't come over no damn land bridge from Russia. They got on their boats and sailed. Just saying. Olmecs, look that up. So you got, what about the Easter Islanders who made the big giant heads? Funny, those big giant heads look weird, but they got an African tint to them. Have you ever seen the Buddha in China? The Buddha looks quite Afrocentric. The original Buddha, that look like a black guy. Sorry, he like a fat black kid. So once again, as far as tone, I would please start looking up the Ankh. Research it yourself. Once you start researching it, all of this comes to you. Then the internet is awesome. The only thing that's keeping you in the dark is a choice to remain ignorant. And I have one saying for ignorant. There are three things. You can be ignorant, you can be dumb, or you can be stupid. Ignorant people can choose to no longer be ignorant. All it takes is education and a little will to improve yourself. Dumb people can't learn. Not everybody can learn. Some people just dumb. But the stupid people, these are the people who choose to remain ignorant. Those, don't be stupid. Ignorance can be fixed. Stupid is a choice.
Yeah, that's a fact. And even you know what? Even those same people, just take the 1 hour and still the research. Just 1 hour. 1
hour.
Just try it. Listen. I didn't try Christianity for 36 years. I'm only asking for 1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour. Not 36 years.
Hey, of real effort, okay? Real effort.
Right.
But
don't put the video on and then walk away.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I ain't learned nothing.
1 hour. If you still feel like putting on a Christian cross after that 1 hour, God bless you. But I'm pretty sure that 1 hour is going to turn into 2 and 3 and 5 in a week.
There you go. So the days, I'm still looking at video like, what?
Exactly.
Start reading stuff. But listen, people, this is really part 1 of the rabbit hole, really.
Yeah, I mean, once again, the Ankh, part 1. Research it. Do it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm done.
All right, people. Thank you for chopping in with us. You have a good day.
Peace.
Later.